Alright, so Zenless Zone Zero is doing really well lately. The character designs are quite literally the best in all of gacha, and not just because of the way they look. Everybody loves gooning to them, but they're also rigged better than all of gacha out there right now. The story is really enjoyable. The combat's also really fun. Maybe it's not as intricate as something like Wuthering Waves or Punishing Grey Raven, but it's a lot of fun. The events are stellar. These mini-games in Zenless Zone Zero events lately have been practically like a whole entire low-budget game in themselves. And if bang boos aren't like the cutest little things on the entire planet, bro, I don't know what the heck is wrong with you, okay? But it hasn't always been like this, right? The game is doing great, but the viewership hasn't really always been there for the game, and it didn't launch like this, right? And so that's what this video is about today. The rise of Zenless Zone Zero, and how it had a rough launch, but it's become one of the best gacha games out there right now. So let's get into this. But first, if you like this kind of stuff, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out, and we're on that push towards 10K, which will be the first milestone for the channel. So let's start from the beginning. Zenless Zone Zero launches and it makes almost $100 million in its first month, and it wasn't even the entire month of Zenless Zone Zero that was even calculated. It was just part of that time period. Characters like Ellen Jo and Juyuan on banner, there was something out there for everybody, but there was a bit of a problem. The TV system and some of the integrations with the game just weren't it for most players. A lot of people ended up even leaving the game right after it launched. I said in my first review of Zenless Zone Zero that this is actually a good game, but it didn't have the best implementations for some of its systems, and it was really holding the game back. Especially the TV system. I think that was the thing that held the game back the most. I think the TV system is important to some degree. It's part of the lifeblood of the game. It's part of the theme of the game, but it was just too much, and for most players, it became a deal breaker for them. So a bunch of player feedback came through and Hoyo got to work, but it would take some time before we saw some of these implementations come through. In the meantime, we eventually got to patch 1.2, and I think this is the start of when things actually started to really turn around for the game. Bro, Bernice White and Caesar King are fantastic characters, their designs are top tier, and dude, Caesar King is one of the most fun playstyles in the game. She has a dedicated parry system, not just character assists or like a dodge, she has her own parry system. It is so enjoyable and so fun, and yeah, sure, that's just combat, but the Sons of Kaladin storyline for that patch was actually really good, and oh man, it really turned things around, at least for me. Things were really starting to turn around for Zenless Zone Zero, but it was going to take some time before they really implemented some things that were going to shape the game into what we know it as today. In fact, it wasn't until patch 1.3, during that patch, when we found out that they were really going to bring in some changes, and it was going to come in patch 1.4. Almost like a pseudo reset for the game in some way, shape, or form. Players were starting to slowly return to the game, give the game a second chance, or give it its first chance because people heard about how the rough launch happened and they decided to wait until the game potentially got better, if that was ever going to happen. And if it didn't happen by now, I mean, bro, when Jane Doe released, oh my god, Becky, look at her butt. It is so... If that didn't bring players back to the game, I don't know what would. I mean, bro, don't get me wrong. A pair of bazongas, a big old fat pair of boobas is definitely gonna get me interested, but I'm more of a butt guy, and I'll tell you what, this game's got the ass. I mean, bro, you come for the booty, figuratively and non-figuratively, and you stay for the actually fun combat and like cool systems, and the game's... Wait, this is actually enjoyable? This isn't just a gooner game? I mean, it kind of is just a gooner game, but it's more than that. Slowly but surely, Zenless Zone Zero started to shape itself into what we know as today. If we fast forward a little bit to patch 1.4, bro, oh my gosh, this really brought things around, okay? This is when people started to realize, you know what? They're actually trying to make a good game. This isn't just some cash grab. They're actually trying to make a good game here. Patch 1.4 brought a lot of players back to the game. It even brought new players into the game for the first time. And yeah, sure, part of why 1.4 was so successful is because of characters. I mean, bro, the long-awaited Miyabi coming out, bro, chef's kiss, brother. This character is so fun to play, so insane, and they're not relying on gooner bait entirely. This character is very tame. They're just cool. They're just aura farming. It's just a cool, good design, but but it's not trying to cater to the like fan service of the game. We also got Harumasa come out at the same time, and dude, Harumasa was given to us for free. It's like the Dr. Ratio situation in Honkai Star Rail, or like the Zhang Liao situation in Wuthering Waves, but credit where credit's due, right? They did give us a free character. They didn't have to do that, they wanted to do that. Maybe it was to just bring players back because the game was sort of not doing so well. But dude, during a Miyabi patch, during a patch they knew players were going to be coming back, bro, they didn't have to do it then, they could have done it some other time. And brother, they basically had like removed the TV system from the game at this time. You know what I mean? Sure, it's still there a little bit, but a little bit is fine. That's not the problem. It was in the game so much that it was literally roadblocking players from being able to do the things they actually enjoyed with the game. I don't know what they were thinking with this. It was too integrated into the game on launch. Beta players told them over and over again that the TV system is not all that much, champ. It's not all that. But nowadays, it's fine. They basically removed it from everything except for, I believe, one game mode. One endgame mode still has it that I can recall. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if it's in more than just one game mode. But dude, it is a breath of fresh air to basically not have to see I have TV like PTSD, bro. If I see a TV, I start to have like flashbacks. And I want to reiterate that yes, like Zenless Zone Zero does use a lot of gooner bait to like bring players into their game and keep players playing their game, but 1.4 was more about the players just being cool, just being fun, just having good combat, and Miyabi definitely represented that. And Harumasa is also a fun play style. He requires a little bit of extra work to be like played at his top level, but not necessarily all that much. It was about the gameplay with patch 1.4. But in patch 1.5, they brought back the goon bait, baby. Oh my gosh, dude. Astra, Yao, and Evelyn. Dude, the ass physics on these chicks are insane, bro. How many pixels could you possibly put into one butt straight up? As a booty connoisseur, as a booty aficionado, I give patch 1.5 an A+. And by the way, have you seen the bazongas on Astra Yao? Jesus Christ. I mean, bro, people immediately started simping for Astra Yao so hard that they created a pretend relationship and started freaking out on Twitter when they saw her character demo because she was kind of hanging out with like the main character, Wise. Like, they kind of just were hanging out. They weren't even like actually on a date. They were literally just hanging out, like walking around the city, and people lost their friggin' minds because it wasn't them. It should be me, not him. Ah! And dude, Astra Yao is such a great pull on your account. These supportive style sustainability characters such as Astra Yao and Caesar King are such great pulls for your account because they're just not released very often. Even somebody like Miyabi, these characters are potentially more important then, because if as long as you have somebody like them and another good sort of hybrid style character and one strong DPS, doesn't necessarily matter who it is, you can clear content. Yeah, sure, Miyabi is definitely an exception. Usually supportive characters in these type of games are the most important characters, or like these sustained supports like Astra Yao and Caesar King. Miyabi is a DPS, but she's one of those rare exceptions because she is such a powerhouse. But dude, those three are probably the most important and best characters in the game right now, straight up. And Astra Yao definitely comes through as just one of those characters, like, there's no such thing as a must pull, but she's kind of like as close to that as you could get. Now, as you know, I'm a booty aficionado, a booty connoisseur, and so when I saw Evelyn, I just about lost my gosh darn mind. And dude, gooning aside, bro, she is just so cool. I mean, the aesthetic, she's kind of like a spy, sort of, but she's not, and she likes Astra Yao, so she makes an exception. I'm not going to give too much away about the story, but like, bro, this character's sick, okay? And the combat, bro, if you put in just a little bit of extra effort and really learn how to play this character, learn how to do her combos, it is so rewarding that she's considered, at least on Pridewin, to be a tier 0 character when played well. Now, it should be noted, just because she is considered tier 0 when played at like a quote expert level does not mean that she's as good as Miyabi. Miyabi is still miles ahead, but it just goes to show that if you put that little extra effort into combat with some of these players, they can perform at a really, really high level, and Evelyn is one of them. She also has this cool feature when she uses her burst or her ultimate, whatever you want to call it, she takes off her jacket and she doesn't put it back on for the rest of the battle because she tossed that thing away. It kind of wouldn't make sense to put it back on, right? It's a cool little feature, and it does give you a better view of certain things. Then we got the S rank Anby reveal, and the lore aficionados busted their brakes. It was all gas and no brakes, bro. This was so cool to get one of the most beloved characters in the game, Anby, who loves bogos. She likes eating bogos, and she's cute, and she got the bogos. Anyway, this character is so cool, and bro, somehow, I don't know what's got up with ZZZ, but somehow the in-game character models look even better than the splash arts and like the character promo. That doesn't always happen. A lot of games, the character promo looks like a little bit better than how they look in game. In Zenless Zone Zero, they sometimes look miles better in game than they ever did in their promo. And dude, Silver Anby, Soldier Anby, S0 Anby, whatever you want to, wife, whatever you want to call her, she's definitely one of those characters. I mean, the moment she released, I immediately set her to my character that walks around in the open world, because I will admit, I was kind of busy around the time they added that feature to the game. Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, when you were walking around in the open world, you were forced to use like the main characters for the game, which kind of sucked, right? But they ended up adding that in patch 1.4, and that was such a good idea. We pull these characters, we put this effort into these characters, and then we can't even walk around with them in the open world. What were they thinking with that one? But dude, bro, the moment this character released, I immediately put this character on for the open world, and bro, straight up, those thigh highs, whatever those little black things are with the that does it for me, bro. That makes me think things that I shouldn't be thinking, okay? And dude, Silver Anby also brought this new mechanic into the game in the form of Aftershock. She also came out with like new gear, like the new drive discs, that's what they're called. Oh, we technically also got that with Miyabi and Astrial. They had like their own signature like gear as well brought into the game, and you didn't have to use the new gear. They were still good. Like in Anby's situation, for example, the old electro gear is still really good on her. And by the way, the Aftershock effect is only going to get even better with a character like Trigger coming into the game. And bro, speaking of Trigger, you thought that Evelyn was making a name for the tight black pants, brother? I mean, bro, have you seen Trigger? Dude, what is going on there? The physics power creep in this game is crazy. And by the way, you don't have to use Trigger with Silver Anby. We ended up getting Pulchra in the game, and everybody gets a free Pulchra. That's a free, yeah, sure, it's a 4-star, but this character is actually good. Just because it's a 4-star character doesn't mean that they're bad. There's plenty of great 4-star characters like Lucy, Sukako. There's friggin' Pulchra, like I was just mentioning. Dude, Nicole. Dude, the original Anby was used for so long to just be the glue to make so many different teams work on launch. These characters all have value. Well, maybe not all of them, but most of them do. And I think we also got another 4-star, or maybe even 2 for free that I just don't remember, you know, like it's been so long now. So put that down in the comments if you know, and you're smarter than I am. And as far as the future of the game is concerned, we have Trigger coming out soon, who like has that visor over their eyes. Like, dude, that is so cool. Not being able to see the eyes on the character, I don't know why, but it's hot, bro. It is. And I will say that Trigger quite literally looks like one of the like, I believe it's like the A rank characters from Nikke, quite literally yoinked from Nikke, but bro, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, okay? And it's different enough to where I don't think anyone should get mad. They should be happy. It's like an inspiration. It's not that big of a deal, okay? And then also, in the next patch coming up, we got some other cool characters coming up soon here that were recently revealed, bro. I'm not gonna lie, they're not necessarily too exciting for me personally, but as far as I can tell, this should be the last patch before the 2.0 patch, and I have a feeling 2.0 is only gonna make Zenless Zone Zero even better. I think Zenless Zone Zero, from where it started out to where it is right now, we've really seen the rise of Zenless Zone Zero. I just really hope that Hoyoverse has kind of gotten a clue and they don't follow in the footsteps of what some of the negative things from Genshin and Honkai Star Rail have brought to the table, especially Honkai Star Rail as of late. Hopefully it doesn't walk too much in the footsteps of it, but it's made by the same company, guys, So don't be surprised if Zenless Zone Zero starts to do that predatory practice type of stuff. Just warning you guys. Now I do have a longer version of this video where I go more into detail about some of the negative things about Zenless Zone Zero as well, but it was a really long version and I wanted to keep things a little bit more digestible, so stay tuned because I will be putting out a video going over some of the negative things about Zenless Zone Zero. So put some comments down below about what you think is good about Zenless Zone Zero and negative so that you can add to the discussion. Anyways, you guys like this kind of stuff? Consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.